Hello all, and as we continue on into the night here, we're gonna be taking a look at the next Super 7 New Japan figure. Um, First one we did was Will Ospreay. Second one we did was Tomohiro Ishii, and now we are going to be looking at the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. Um, yep, I would imagine for a lot of people this is probably the most anticipated one. This one or the last one. Um, I will say I was most excited for Okada and Tanahashi. Probably Tanahashi more so. And I'll get more into why when I open the Tanahashi. Um, but I'm sure for a lot of people this was their big one. And rightfully so, I get it. Again, same thing. Brown shipper box. Then we got this. That is the trash bag you are hearing. So yeah. And here we go. I've said it before. I've said it with pretty much every Super 7 I've opened so far. I love the packaging. It's just so cool. The whole slipcase. Like I said, if I just had all the room in the world, I'd probably keep the boxes too. There we go. Same thing as all the other ones. It's got that little ring kind of going. We got the logo, King of Sports. We got his little bio on the back if you want to stop and read that. I noticed before that I hadn't really got into like a lot of the wrestlers. So like Will Ospreay, you know, if you're a wrestling fan, then you know who all these guys are. But for people who don't, you know, Will Ospreay is was kind of the super junior ace of New Japan for a while. Like here in America, what we would call like a cruiserweight, a smaller guy, more high flying, more flips, things like that. Ishii was more of a strong style guy, like a traditional strong style Japanese wrestler, just hard hitting, not a lot of flying around, not a lot of speed, just knock you out. And now we have Okada. Um, Considered by a lot of people to be the best wrestler of the last, you know, 5 years or so, probably. Maybe even a little bit longer than that at this point. Um, Barely getting into his 30s and still one of the top guys. He's been the ace of New Japan, the top guy for a while now. Even when he's not champion, it seems like he's kind of their guy. His feud with Tanahashi, I think, really helped save New Japan there. And yeah, so all the respect in the world to Okada. I love his matches with AJ Styles when AJ went there. It just seems like Okada, when he really wants to, can have a great match with anybody. Sometimes I think he's just kind of going through the motions. But when he really wants to and he can turn it on, he can. And I know there's a lot of people who won't like this comparison, but he reminds me a lot of Randy Orton when Randy Orton was younger. And even Randy now to an extent where like when he wants to be, he can be like the best guy in the world. But sometimes maybe not all the time he wants to be, you know? So we'll go ahead and open up Okada here. And again, same thing. If you're a mint and box collector, or you save the boxes at least, watch out for these tearing. So that happened again. Because you can't open them from the side. Maybe from the bottom if you're a little bit more careful with it. So there we go. Right off the bat, there's a couple of things with this figure I can tell I'm kind of not going to like. Try not to be too negative too quickly here. Same thing, same backdrop with the lights. I still wish we could have gotten a little bit of variation on the backgrounds. Maybe like a Tokyo Dome background or a Sumo Hall background, something like that, you know. One of those like New Japan press conference backgrounds, that'd been awesome. Twist ties be damned, because I have scissors. Okay, we're going to get into all the accessories first. If you saw my the Ishii video, then you already know what to expect. I pretty much was able to kind of tell that all these figures are coming with the exact same hands, just in different molds for skin tone. Something's up with that Okada, at least the hands on the skin tone here. Also, if you saw my first two, you'll know that I gave the Osprey the thumbs down, but I gave the Ishii the thumbs up. Everybody's, I guess, like, I'll count the Andre in that too, because I did unbox the Andre the Giant Super 7. I gave that one a thumbs up. I really liked that figure. I was impressed with it. So thumbs up on Andre the Giant. Thumbs down on Will Ospreay. Thumbs up on Tomohiro Ishii. And now we're getting into Okada. I did I mentioned this before in the first video with Will Ospreay. I've already pre-ordered Wave 2 of the New Japan figures. I've also pre-ordered Giant Rusimov, which is a different version of Andre the Giant. And I have pre-ordered the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast figures. I will not be getting the Good Brothers. I have their WWE Elites, and to be quite frank, I was kind of hesitant on some of the Super 7 wrestlers, so I kind of decided, you know what, I'm gonna pass on those guys. I already have their Elites, I'm good with it. So I'm just getting all the. I'm sorry, I'm kind of stalling here. It's late. What can I say? Alright, there we go. So, first things first, let's take a look at a lot of these accessories. Same hands. Chopping hands. Like I said, all these guys are coming with very similar hands. So you got a hand here. Pointing hand. This one's a little bit warped if you turn it that way. So that's disappointing. He's got a weird. I didn't notice this with any of the other figures. This is the first time I'm noticing this, and it's on some of the other hands too. I don't know what's going on here. Where like his fingertips are like black. Like you see that right there? Almost like it's discolored. I don't know what is going on with these Okada hands. That's disappointing. Anyways, also, same thing. He's got taped hands with no paint on the tape. I think that's just going to be the curse of all of these because they use the same damn mold in a different color. Like this hand doesn't have that problem with the fingertips, but then like these ones do. I don't know what is going on with that. That is weird. Alternate head. I like this one more than the one that's on there. That being said, this head's not perfect. It is what it is. These are supposed to be Okada dollars. As you can tell, it's supposed to be money. Okada being his nickname being the Rainmaker. When he's like doing a big show and he has his entrance, they'll drop fake money with his face on it. It's a pretty cool gimmick. If you remember back in the day, I think they did that for Ted DiBiase in WWF back in the 80s for WWF, 80s and 90s. And they did it for JBL when he was doing his like evil J.R. Ewing gimmick. When he was JBL, basically. So that's what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be money. Here's the problem with that. There's no picture or design on them. Oops. You can almost see a circle there where like they're supposed to be, and even like some little writing, but there's no like if you just saw that, looks like a bar of soap. There's nothing on it to indicate it's money. So that's really disappointing. I mean, you can kind of see the lines here, like it's stacked up, but that's really disappointing because that would have been great if they had pulled that off right. And same thing with this. There's just no indication that's telling you it's money, other than that it looks like money kind of spread out. Yeah, that's really disappointing. Hopefully I think Zack Ryder is coming with money for the Major Wrestling Figure uh, toys. I'm hoping his is like more detailed. That's disappointing for Okada. Now we can kind of get into Okada. He does come with the gold necklace. This is actually really nice. This is pretty detailed. I like this. Yeah, this looks good. I like the necklace. Definitely got a Mr. T thing going on with that. His jacket, be quite frank, this is probably the best part about this figure so far is this jacket. This is nice. It feels like a pleather, like a fake leather. This is really cool. Wow, I was not expecting this. This is amazing. I'm speechless. I apologize. I was not expecting that. Even when I took it out, I didn't really notice it. Now that I'm holding it, though, oh my god. This is amazing. Like, it's not hard either. It's soft. It's like an actual pleather, like a fake leather. It's even got like the strips coming down. Has all those little things on there. Rainmaker. Yeah, this is nice. So I'm kind of baffled by the jacket. That threw me for a loop. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I don't think his arms are going to bend much in the jacket. Oh, no, there it goes. It's kind of going. Can we get this one? Yep, there we go. Cool. Okay, so, yeah. There he is. I'm sorry for the stalling. The jacket really shocked me. I was kind of stunned there. This is, like, one of the best quality, like, jackets on a wrestling figure I've ever seen. Yeah, they put a lot of effort into this one. All the detailing on the back. This is great. I kind of don't want to take it off. I'm going to leave it on. I apologize if you were wanting to see everything. Just because of the way it's made and everything, I don't want to risk tearing it or anything. Like, that's kind of my one thing about it being such a high quality is I kind of don't want to mess it up taking it on and off. So for now, we're going to try to kind of go around it and open up the figure a little bit to see. He comes with the IWGP Heavyweight title. As you can tell, it looks a lot like the Junior Heavyweight belt, only bigger. That is by design. That being said, similar to the IWGP, the Junior Heavyweight title that came with Ospreay, I feel like this one could use some more of the gold to make it pop. It does have the gold on top and around the lettering, and I know that the heavyweight title is a mix of silver and gold. But it feels like it's definitely more gold than silver. Whereas on these, I like the more you look at it, the more it looks like it's the silver is the dominant color, and it should kind of be the gold being the dominant color. So that's a little disappointing, but not too bad. I'm glad we finally got an IWGP heavyweight belt, regardless. Skin tone wise, again, there's no blotchiness. I'm hoping the light can pick up no blotchiness like the Ospreay figure or anything. So I'm wondering if that was just a problem with the Ospreays at this point. However, similar to the Ospreays, my Okada's hip joint, leg joint, whatever you want to call it, thigh swivel, is not quite what it should be. Like the Ishii had pretty good. His is very stiff to the point where I don't want to move it too much because it kind of feels like it'll break if I do. Kind of like the Ospreay. He does have the knee swivel, though, pretty good, like the Ishii and the Ospreay. So that's nice. Detail on that's really good, too. Rainmaker. Yeah, that's one thing about these I'll say. Like, their deco and everything is fantastic. The deco on the pants, like the Ospreay had great deco. It's just that, he had really stiff joints that didn't want to move, and they're not as articulated as they probably should be. And then just like the lack of detail on some of his stuff was disappointing. And the fact that the head sculpts weren't the greatest on him. The Ishii had great head sculpts. I'm going to kind of get into that with this Okada. I think his head sculpts are not horrible, but not great either. I think the one that's on him looks more like him. But that being said, it is kind of a disappointing head sculpt. It's not bad. It's just not great either. Especially like the Osprey suffered from that. The Osprey head sculpt looked a little off, but the Ishii one was like spot on. This one, kind of like the Osprey, it looks like him, but there's something off about it, you know? It looks like Okada, but there's something just a little bit off on this one. Yeah, let's see if I can get the belt off at least. See if our belt has the same. That belt don't want to come off. Whoa. Come on. There we go. I was kind of afraid. Like, that did not want to come off for a moment. So here's our belt. Like, it looks better from a distance. Once you're up close, then you can kind of see how kind of dull it is. This is a nice touch. They have like the gold tip on the end of the strap. That's cool. I like that. That's a good touch. Pretty evened out. This side has a weird droop to it. I don't know what's going on there. It's about the same thickness as the junior heavyweight belt. Like the never open weight belt that came with Ishii was like real thin. This one's a little bit thicker, like the junior heavyweight belt that came with Osprey. And that's another thing. Each of these came with a different belt. Osprey came with the junior heavyweight belt. Ishii came with the never open weight belt. Okada comes with the heavyweight title. And I believe Tanahashi comes with the Intercontinental title. So we'll find out. See if I can get these back in, or if it's either these are going to be like the Ishii and go in right away and pretty quickly, or they're going to be like the Osprey and I'm never going to be able to get this back in. Let's find out. I'm sorry if the camera's going in and out of focus. I'm moving a lot trying to get this in. Well, you know what? It would appear that we're having more of the Osprey issue. I wonder if that's because these are thicker. If the way to go is to do the more thin belt design like the never open weight title. We'll have to see what's up with the Intercontinental belt that comes with Tanahashi to kind of confirm or deny that. But yeah, I'm really struggling to get the belt back into the pegs here. They're also kind of got that warp thing going on that they've all had so far. So that's disappointing. I'll have to kind of just be careful how I pack this guy back up to make sure the belt doesn't get messed up since it's not closed. Yeah, these are like two, like same thing with the Osprey belt. These are too like movie to get in there. And it's almost like they're too big for the pegs that they go in. Which might be a thing because I had a hard time getting the belt off. And I'm guessing it's just going to be even harder to get it back in. But that's disappointing. It is what it is, though. I still like the design of it, especially from a distance. Like, it looks great. Up close, kind of bland, but hey, not anything. But yeah, overall, this Okada is pretty good. But more so, like... Okay, right out the gate, I'll say this. Based on the material the jacket is made out of, the fact that it is like that higher quality plastic, but mostly like the jacket, I'm guessing this jacket probably cost a lot to make, at least from their perspective of wanting to make a profit off of it. I'm going to say the Okada is definitely worth it just for this jacket, and you're getting the figure and the belt and everything too. But this jacket makes it. It's like a fake leather or like a pleather. It's amazing. I can't do it justice. And the detail on it. That jacket alone really makes this figure worth it. If he didn't, like, even though he doesn't have the splotchiness of the Will Ospreay on the skin tone and everything, the fact that his hip joints don't want to move like the Ospreay's, um, and the fact that like none of these have had a waist swivel, um, and that the head sculpts are a little suspect. If he didn't have this jacket, I'd probably give it the thumbs down. And that sucks because I like Okada. But he's got great deco, and the jacket makes it worth it. That jacket saved this figure. I'm just going to say it. I think the jacket saved this one, because like the skin blotchiness aside, it suffers a lot of the same problems that the Ospreay did. Like kind of suspect head sculpt, very undetailed accessories, just tragically undetailed, and a belt that just is having a hard time going back to the way it's supposed to be. But beyond that, this jacket saved this figure. I'll just say that, and the lack of articulation or whatever. But the jacket saved the figure. The jacket and the deco saved this figure. I wish I could say the same thing about the Ospreay because he came with the jacket too, but that jacket was not made like this. Like that jacket was much more flimsy. It felt more like what you would get out of one of the WWE or AEW figures. It did not feel like this. This feels like an actual jacket. So yeah, I think if it didn't have a jacket, it'd be a thumbs down like the Ospreay because it suffers like pretty much all the same problems, minus like the skin blotchiness. This one's got a better like even tone to the skin, but because the jacket is so amazing to the point where I was actually left speechless for a moment, I'm gonna give the Okada a thumbs up. This jacket saves the figure mightily, because I think the rest of them is kind of disappointing. The deco, I'm not trying to slag the deco on the pants or the knees or the shoes or anything, or the boots. That's all great, but the cons are for Ospreay and Okada. The cons are outweighing the pros. The problem is the pro on the Okada is this jacket, and it is amazing. It saved it, and that's the best way I can say it. The jacket on this Okada saved the figure. I think. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up based on that. And the rest of them, like I said, they fixed the skin tone on Ishii, and this Okada's got a good skin tone. It's just the head sculpt suspect, the lack of articulation is suspect. And not to mention, like, a lot of his interchangeable hands are like weirdly painted to where like they have like this weird like darkness going around them, like somebody accidentally mixed in some black ink on the fingertips. I don't know, and I don't think he like paints his fingertips or anything because it's like on the knuckles too. So that's another thing. Like even the Ospreay didn't suffer that problem. But this hand looks normal. See, they just all don't look normal. So yeah, would be a thumb. I'd probably give it a thumbs down. But that jacket, like, is so amazing and shocked me. That even despite its faults, I'll give it the thumbs up. I'll give it a pass. Very rarely will I do that based on one thing, but this one thing is so good, I'm going to go ahead and give it the pass. So yeah. So if you're keeping track, Andre the Giant, thumbs up. Will Ospreay was a thumbs down. Ishii was a thumbs up. Okada is barely a thumbs up thanks to this jacket. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Next one's our last one for Series 1, and that is going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi, the one I am looking forward to the most. The whole reason I bought this set is for Tanahashi. I could have just bought Tanahashi, but I wanted to see how these all turned out. So, yep, I'll catch you guys in that video.